But I think my theory is that with Ronnefalk, I was getting worried because when he didn't go to DNC, I thought that, oh, Xray is just trying to turn Ronnefalk into an on-road 10 scale guy and a 10 scale off-road guy and let Fenn deal with all the races over in USA and whatnot. And I was getting worried and I was having my doubts about the Viking. But I actually think that the Viking did not need to win this race. He just needed to he needed to be on the podium. But I think really all the pressure of this race were on Canas trying to three-peat, especially after the kerfuffle that he had with Ongaro at the Ebuggy World at the Ebuggy Euros, lost to him. Then if you go back even more to 2024 at Redovon, when Canas was so fast and Pip to win, and then Ongaro demolished the field. So there was a lot of pressure on Canas. I think Ongaro has pressure, especially after, the shellacking that he got from everybody for the bump on Canas, which I think was over, because I find it funny that people shellacked him immensely, but let little bumps slide with his 2 bumps, right? So I feel that he had the pressure to come on her out of those top 3. And Ronnefalk would have been good with a second or a third, but I know he wants to win. And I think, I don't care what anybody says, I believe that these racers have the mentality that they can win anywhere they go, and they want to win. That's why they're professional racers, like any other sport in the world, any other motorsports. There's certain people that have an attitude that can do it. It's borderline cocky versus confidence, right? You can misconstrue Ronnefalk's talking for cockiness, but it's just he's confident in his skills. But I feel when you're not doing good, he's racing that on-road class. I know Xray is pushing to do it and all that type of stuff, like trying to make him like a Bruno Coelho. But this is where he's good. He's a 1/8 scale racer, 1/10 scale off-road racer. This is his bread and butter. This is the freaking glory right here, right? I think that going to these touring car races, I know he wants to do it, and I know he's got a busy schedule of Xray. I don't care what anybody says. Finishing, like, where did he finish at TITC? Like, way down the line, like, didn't even make the A final. I don't care what anybody says.
Something like 15th or something.
Yeah, he was in the B final.
He did at D final.
D final.
E final?
Yeah.
It was Hagberg who was in the B.
But
no, Hagberg was in the C final.
But think about it. Since Ronnefalk made that decision to go to Matrix Tires back in 2023, he has had it's just been like, when is we're waiting for Ronnefalk to show up, right? Let's be honest. We've talked about it quite a few times. I think all that erodes at your confidence. He may not want to admit that, but it has to. It has to erode at your confidence. And a true champion is who figures out how to overcome that and get this type of win. And I think remember, we didn't even have Ronnefalk in our top 5 of people, best 8 scale drivers in the world. I think this win boosts Ronnefalk back up into that top 5. Is he top 3 at the moment? I don't think so. But definitely his name is back in the mix for top 5 of 8 scale drivers in the world. And I think that this race was desperately needed to win. Like, a podium would have been great. Win is like just icing on the cake. I think all that confidence is back. I kind of talked to him. He's confident. He definitely said to Max to read between the lines. And I think the Viking is back. I was super excited for this. Honestly, there were so many storylines going into this race. It would have been great if Canas would have won 3 in a row. It would have been great if Ongaro would have got his first Nitro championship. But this is the first racer to go 4 times in Nitro Buggy. Okay, Kalari has like 20,000 European titles in on-road. But in Nitro Buggy, we have plenty of three-peats. Robert, Savoya, and Ronnefalk was one for the longest while. First 4-time European champion. Great accomplishment for Ronnefalk. I'm happy for him. He's back. And I talked to him. As we're recording this, he's going off to Sydney to practice for the 10 scale Worlds. But here's something that we didn't even look at. Xray has won the Nationals. They've now won the Euros. We have the Ebuggy Worlds coming up here in another month and a half. Potentially they can win that. Very much so. And let's not forget, they have the 10 scale Worlds coming up in September, October. And Look who just won the nationals at the host track of the Worlds in 2026. Can Xray go for the fucking sweep?
It's possible for the first time ever. Now that you brought it up, I think it's the most likely it's ever been that Xray gets. They are reigning touring car champions too. So going into 2026, it's possible that they are reigning everything champions, except for Nitro Buggy, which is happening in 2026. Winning on road worlds in 2026 will be, I'd say, impossible for Xray with this lineup, unfortunately, but it will, in my opinion. But everything else, I think, is like up for
Possible.
grabs. Yeah,
Very much possible.
and I didn't even think about that, but that is an incredibly good point. That it's not. I mean, I'd say with this field of drivers that they have, like, Schimmel's been doing great. Sontag surprises once in a while. Lemieux has been good. I'm talking
Fend.
10 scale worlds here. Fend and Ronnefalk are the obvious favorites going into the 10 scale worlds, but it's likely that one of those Xray guys are going to be fighting for that world championship, or it's likely that a few of those Xray guys are going to be fighting for that 10 scale world championship. And the Ebuggy Worlds, like, if Ronnefalk can win in Nitro, why couldn't he in Ebuggy? He's also what is it now, 2 or 3 time Ebuggy European champion as well. Like, he's won 10 scale Euros. He's one of the most successful drivers in Europe of this, like, well, I can say this generation. For the past 15 years, he's been one of the most successful drivers if you look at wins. And I think even if you look at some of the other statistics, he's been one of those ones. Like, and the thing is that he's not really missing anything. Like, he's won pretty
10
much
scale worlds.
every 10 scale worlds. Yeah, but like, he can get them at the end of
Has
this
he won
year.
Reedy? No.
No,
No,
but
no
I
Reedy.
mean, yeah, no, really. But I think the issue with really is that it kind of stopped for a while now.
Yeah.
So it's really tough for these newer guys to win.
What
But
about
it
you,
doesn't
Pecco?
happen.
You're on the enemy turf. You're Schumacher. What do you think about Xray's possibilities to sweep Ebuggy Worlds, 10 scale Worlds, and Worlds next year?
I think there is a chance. I mean, everything can happen. But yeah, we'll see. Schumacher, there is rumors that there will be a new car for the world, so we'll see.
Okay.
I've seen some center drive shafts.
Really?
I have. Have
Ooh,
you?
so no belts. No belts. Interesting. But we'll save that for another day. We're not going to get into 10 scale stuff. Let's move on to the Clinic RC and Sidewinder Fuels winners and losers.
Just Clinic RC.